The spotlight flickered back to life when Kelly and Mark stepped onto the screen again, 2 weeks after the internet had been buzzing with theories, jokes, concerns, and wild predictions about where they had disappeared to. But in the very first moments of their return, the couple made one thing clear. They were alive, they were fine, and they were still the same perfectly chaotic pair fans love. Kelly, with her signature sparkle, greeted the audience as if she had only been gone for a weekend trip. Mark, standing beside her, flashed the grin that always seems to say he either knows something no one else does, or he forgot something really important and is praying no one asks. Together, they looked refreshed, united, and more in sync than ever. What viewers didn't see, however, was that behind the scenes, their lives had been a whirlwind of personal projects, travel schedules, and the kind of married couple negotiations that deserve their own reality show. In the episodes that aired that week, though recorded earlier, Kelly and Mark appeared alongside an impressive lineup of guests. Monday's show featured lively conversations with Gina Davis and Seth MacFarlane, and Tuesday brought interviews with Liam Hemsworth, Edie Falco, and Tyra James Williams. Fans enjoyed the usual banter, the inside jokes, the awkwardly adorable moments between Kelly and Mark, but many noticed something unusual. The shows weren't actually live. To the casual viewer, everything looked normal. But longtime fans, especially the ones who study the show like a detective reading a mystery novel, picked up on little hints. A slightly different hairstyle here, a small wardrobe shift there, a phrase Mark repeated that he had already said last week. The internet quickly exploded with theories. Meanwhile, backstage, the real story was far less mysterious and far more romantic, funny, and chaotic. Kelly had taken a short summer break. A real one, the kind where she put down her work phone, stayed away from studio lights, and tried very hard not to read the emails she swore she wasn't going to check. Mark, on the other hand, had been in Los Angeles shooting a project he had been dreaming about for years. Together, Kelly and Mark had recently co-written and co-produced a 4-part documentary about their shared experience as co-owners of their favorite Italian football club. The project had been brewing for a long time, filled with late-night creative debates, cups of coffee that went cold too fast, and more than a few moments where Kelly had to remind Mark that wearing headphones didn't make him a professional sound engineer. In a recent interview, Mark admitted the project was deeply personal. He spoke with so much passion that even the interviewer started tearing up. And Kelly couldn't resist teasing him about how too serious he looked while talking about it. Their chemistry was so natural that viewers felt like they were watching a scripted rom-com. But this was just them. Always has been. When the production team needed to fill their temporary absence, a rotating roster of guest hosts stepped in. Rita Ora, Jackie Ton, Jenna Dewan, Elle Duncan, and Katie Lowes each brought their own flavor to the show. While Mark was away, Kelly hosted with Steve Patterson, Carson Kressley, David Murr, Jerry O'Connell, and a handful of other familiar faces. Every episode carried its own charm, but something special always seemed to be missing. Fans said it best online. It's great, but it's not them. Because as entertaining as the guest hosts were, no one could replicate the unpredictable, romantic comedic rhythm Kelly and Mark share. It's the kind of rhythm that comes from nearly 30 decades of marriage, endless inside jokes, and knowing someone so well you can finish their thoughts or interrupt them perfectly when they're taking too long. And while social media was busy guessing, worrying, or making memes about missing nameplates on the host desk, the truth was far simpler. This was all part of the production plan. Daily talk shows have a complex rhythm behind the scenes. Hosts, just like anyone else, need time off. And in summertime, when TV viewership dips, shows often pre-record episodes. This offers flexibility, especially when hosts have commitments outside the studio. In this case, Mark was balancing film work, Kelly was taking a rest, and the network was keeping everything running smoothly. But the magic of television requires consistency, and so the team filmed multiple episodes in advance, blended new material with earlier interviews, and crafted the flawless illusion of spontaneity, even though some of the conversations had happened days before. The result? Viewers still got laughter, storytelling, celebrity interviews, and the comfortable energy of a show that has become part of so many people's daily routine. And when Kelly and Mark finally stepped back into the spotlight together, they brought with them the warmth and excitement fans had missed. Kelly teased Mark about how much trouble he caused while she was gone. Mark joked that the studio felt too quiet without her constant commentary. Kelly rolled her eyes and reminded him she knew exactly how many snacks he ate while they were filming the documentary. Mark countered with a dramatic claim that he was starving the whole time, which Kelly exposed as a lie within 3 seconds. Viewers couldn't stop laughing. The two of them took a moment to thank the guest hosts, the crew, and the fans who continued to support them. But they also assured everyone they weren't going anywhere. They were refreshed, recharged, and ready to take on new episodes together. Still, one thing stood out above everything else: the love between them. Mark kept looking at Kelly with the expression of a man who somehow still gets butterflies. Kelly kept nudging him playfully, reminding him to stay on script, as if she knew exactly when he was about to wander off into a story he wasn't supposed to tell. Their dynamic wasn't just chemistry, it was history. And fans felt it. As the episode wrapped up, they promised even more surprises, more laughter, more storytelling, and more behind-the-scenes adventures in the days ahead. And as always, they left viewers smiling. So whether someone watches for the heartfelt romances, the unexpected humor, or just the comforting feeling of two familiar faces making the morning brighter, one thing is certain: Kelly and Mark are back, and they're better than ever.